Welcome to the Out of Home Insider Show, where we're bringing you tips, tricks, and insider insights on how to not only make your advertising more effective, but more efficient at the same time using the power of out of home. I'm your host, Tim Rowe, and today is a really exciting episode for me because I wanted to know, can you generate leads? That's right, first-party data, opt-ins, hand raisers, whatever the hell you want to call them. Can you generate leads for just $1 a day on a digital billboard strategy, a direct response type of campaign with a completely fictitious brand? So there was no brand equity to go on. This was not an established play in the market on something that had already been out there. Could we take a completely raw brand that didn't exist, drive traffic to a website, and get people to willingly forfeit or exchange their information for a bribe? And that bribe would be a pretty cool little prize pack for the cigar smokers out there. And I'm going to share my screen here in a second, but this was entirely done using the back end of Blip. And the reason that I wanted to use Blip to do this was because we'd been hearing from local advertisers, oh, well, it's less expensive. Oh, well, it's easier. And while I have to admit that some of those things definitely appear to be true from just the bird's eye view, it wasn't as easy as you might think, and there was definitely some places along the way that I thought it could be better. And ultimately, we're going to discuss what the benefits are, how to most effectively use it, and whether or not you should ever go direct again with an outdoor company. Wink, wink. The answer is going to be yes. Obviously, I have a bias there, but I want to explain why. Before we get to the why, though, could we answer the question of, can you generate leads with $1 a day on billboards? Well, the answer to that, like I said, that answer is yes. But what does that look like in total scope and total dollars spent? What was the cost per lead to do that? And where the heck were these billboards anyway? I'm going to share my screen here. So in case you're listening to this on the audio version, I would say go back, check out the YouTube, or just connect with me on LinkedIn, because what I am doing with this little case study here is I've turned it into a bit of like a carousel type flip book. It's a few pages long, and you're going to be able to get all that information. Again, I'm Tim Rowe. If you go on LinkedIn, type in Tim Rowe, you're probably going to see a guy wearing an I Love OOH hat. That's me. Just connect with me or stalk me out a little bit, and you'll be able to find this pretty quickly and easily. But we wanted to answer that question. Can you generate leads with billboards? That guy right there, that little gorilla smoking the cigar, he would be our hero throughout this story. He is the logo for our made-up company. So here's what we know. We know that first-party data is, one, becoming more expensive to acquire, two, is becoming more valuable to have, and three, that third-party data and pixels, and there's all sorts of stuff going on in the world of online advertising. We know that those things are changing. Our database continues to increase in value every single day. That is the treasure chest from Fortnite, if you're wondering. Ad blocker usage continues to go up, especially with millennials and younger. So the audiences that you're probably trying to reach using online media, digital advertising, Facebook, Instagram ads, pre-roll, display, those types of things, we know that ad blocker usage is over 50% for millennials and below. I had an opportunity to guest lecture at a digital analytics class. These are college kids who are studying digital advertising. They are paying $30,000 a year to go to school to study digital marketing. And I posed the question, I said, how many of you guys are using ad blockers? And half the hands in the room went up. These are students of digital advertising who are paying money to go to school to learn this stuff, and they are actively blocking your ads. They don't want to be advertised to and during their online and their digital experience. That right there, that's Warren Buffett, the king, right? The Omaha Oracle, the king of finding undervalued opportunities. And that's because out of home right now is wildly undervalued. I know the other day, Shopify, I believe the CEO, had even said that the return on investment for online advertising continues to go down. It continues to be more expensive. The data is more expensive. There's more people using ad blockers, which means the supply of potential people to advertise to is down. The demand is up. Obviously, that drives up cost, continues to make out of home the most underpriced play in media. So could we generate leads using billboards? I don't know. Could we do it with $1 a day using Blip and that design that you see there? It's an enter to win, winfreecigars.com. Pretty simple, right? It's a memorable URL. It tells you what you're going to get on the other end of that. Hey, if you want to win free cigars, you should go to winfreecigars.com, where we were giving away a traveler pack with a travel humidor, 5 cigars, a cutter, and a torch, about $75 worth of premium value there. So we thought that that was a pretty good vibe. I'm saying we. It was really just me and the blind dog over here, Yankee. He's dropping toys at my feet. I'm gonna toss him here. Yeah, go get that. So could you do it for $1 a day using Blip? Well, yeah, I told you that you could. And I'm going to zoom in on this map here because I think it's really important. All those little red dots that you see across the country there, one up in Washington, North Dakota, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio. I feel like I'm singing that song. Ohio, West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee. This was a true national campaign. But was it more of like a carpet bomb approach or was it laser targeted? Well, one of the things that I ran into early on was that my creative kept getting denied. And I tend to think that the reason for that was because it had the Win-Free cigars on it. So it kept getting denied when I was picking specific locations. I just got frustrated. I said, the hell with it. Just give me everything. And Blip, I think, is hooked up to about 1,100 billboards across the country. I said, just submit it to everyone, and whoever the hell approves it, I'm going to run it. And I'd initially done that shotgun approach with $1 a day. And I checked in after a day or two, and it wasn't running. There was no impressions delivering. So I increased my budget to $2 a day, and then it started to deliver. Now, the thing that's interesting about that is if you see in the top right corner here, it says average daily spend $1.21. So at $1 it didn't do anything. I increased it to $2, and we ended up at $1.21. So it was a little bit of trial and error, and that would probably be my first criticism of Blip. There was nothing that alerted me and said, hey, your budget's too low. Now, you're probably thinking, Tim, it was $1 a day, duh. But if you're a business owner and you're just starting to dabble in this, it could be a frustrating experience if you put in $5 and maybe you're expecting to really get going because it gives you that sort of little chart. And when you punch in how much you're willing to spend in terms of a daily investment, it gives you an idea of how many flips or how many blips you're going to get, how many digital commercials you're going to receive. And so it sets a little bit of an expectation. And then to see it not deliver was admittedly a little bit frustrating. But what I will say is this. If you see that impressions per dollar right there, 185, and I don't know where the heck my calculator is, so I'm going to use the old handy-dandy cell phone. This is for every math teacher that told me, Tim, you're not always going to have a calculator. And you were wrong. So 1,000 divided by 185. So it's I don't know if you can see, maybe if I can figure out how to get there. That's $5.40. That's a $5.40 CPM, which on the surface, you could be thinking to yourself, damn, that's a pretty good value. But what I will say is that while it was a pretty good value in terms of an overall, CPM, there was no targeting to this campaign whatsoever. I wasn't able to use Geopath if I was a business owner to understand, hey, these particular locations are best to reach my target audience. So while you may end up paying a little bit more if you went direct and worked with a partner who has access to Geopath, wouldn't you rather pay a little bit more to get your message or your advertising in front of the right person so that your cost per acquisition actually went down? That's something to consider if you're considering Blip for a potential digital billboard campaign. It's a good tool. It offers good value, but it may not be the best use of your funds. So on average, I saw about 10 flips or 10 blips, 10 commercials across 186 boards. And if you've been doing any sort of digital billboard advertising, you know that frequency matters. But the point of this was to tell whether or not we could drive direct response, because traditionally direct response is done very well on broadcast radio. It does very well on broadcast television, because the idea of that style of direct response is I'm just going to spread this out everywhere, and someone that sees it is going to act on that offer right away. And I'm going to get the conversion, the sale, the lead, whatever. So that's what I really did. let me be everywhere that I possibly can. There's some settings within Blip where you could day part, look for maximum audience or evening drive. And actually, the majority of my impressions ended up being served between about 5 and 7 p.m. So while I didn't optimize it for a PM drive type schedule, I left it wide open. The campaign really optimized around PM drive, which I thought was pretty desirable for what I was getting. Again, on average, across 186 billboards across 15 days, 16 days, about 10 flips, which isn't significant. Nobody's really remembering that. So from a brand equity standpoint, probably not the play here. Again, we were doing this for $1.21 a day. We weren't going to change the world. Total impressions, 3,563. I'm just going to touch on it really quick. We got our first lead at 987 impressions, which was about what I thought it would be. I thought it would be about 1,000 impressions to get the first lead. So when I got the first one at 987, I thought, oh, this is great. We'll probably end up with 2 or 3, but sadly, we only ended up with that original one. So at the end of the day, the campaign cost us $19.80 to run. We generated 1 lead for a pretty hard to acquire new customer industry, which is cigars. So we know that cigars get they get looped into the whole tobacco and the e-cigarette, and they end up getting lumped in with all that stuff from a regulation standpoint. So they're not able to advertise in a lot of places that you or I may take for granted. So, publications that they've traditionally advertised in are cutting them out, magazines and things like that. Online advertising is very tough for them. Obviously, they can't run on television, so they really depend on an organic following and driving traffic to the website. Outdoor, obviously, is a great driver of traffic to a website. We'll talk about that sort of in the next thing here. But that's why I chose this category specifically, is because it is so hard. And from my experience and conversations that I've had with people inside of the tobacco space, that cost per acquisition for a cigar customer is about $50. Now, there's something that I haven't figured into this cost per lead here, and I'll talk about it in a minute, why I haven't included it. But if the average cost to acquire new customers is around $50, we got a lead generated here for $19.80. We're probably right in that same range, but this is definitely a more sustainable, in my opinion, and a more scalable model, especially when you work with a partner who has a digital network that you can use Geopath, that you can index locations to find the ones that give you the best opportunity to influence the audience you're looking to reach. So for $19.80, we generated a lead. We covered the whole nation. The lead was generated out of Charlotte, North Carolina, where if you can see that big red circle right there, just zoomed in on, that's Charlotte. We were right outside the airport, and that's where the lead came from. So if that tells you anything, maybe we should have just focused it in Charlotte, and maybe we do that next time. So what the heck would have changed? I would probably change the creative, because I didn't think about this at the time because I'm looking at it on a computer screen. But a lot of times with digital billboards, when mods go out, the little screens get faded or replaced, that white background really becomes exposed, and you start to see maybe some of that fatigue and there's replaced mods on the board. So I'm pretty sure that my creative probably didn't end up looking that great with a white background. So I would definitely consider changing that. But I think it was pretty clear, like, here's the call to action. Go to this site. Somehow Win got dropped off. If you're looking at the screen, I don't know where the hell it went, but it went somewhere. It's not there. But change the background. I would definitely do that. I would definitely consider targeting one particular location. Like we said, the lead came from Charlotte. Maybe putting all of that money into one area, getting frequency up could impact lead volume. It's something that I'm going to test, and we'll find out. Setting up a proper landing page. I'm going to scroll back real second so you could see $1 a day, right? Blip, here it is, billboard. And the landing page was just really simple. It was, hey, here's the stuff that you're getting. Enter your email. We did make it really easy so that you didn't need to put in your name, telephone number, email address, all that crap. You could just type in your email. And if you were signed into your Facebook, if you guys have ever seen that like Facebook login feature, basically it did that. So it really made it pretty easy. But I don't know how many people went to the website. There could have been more traffic. It could have been that we got a bunch of traffic to the website, but people were like, what the hell is this? It's sort of sketchy. Never heard of this company before, and this looks a little bit fugazi. So I think that could have impacted it. and definitely a proper landing page next time, setting up Google Analytics so we can look at more of the traffic, where it's coming from. That's something that I do a lot when I'm monitoring an outdoor campaign is I look at Google Analytics. It drives a ton of search. What does it all mean? So in conclusion, yay, it works. It works. It works. We're going to continue to test. I don't know why the hell I keep saying we, because again, it's the dog and I. Yeah, you want to say hi? No, nothing. All right, we'll throw this again. Ready, go. So it works, and that's awesome. We'll figure out more. But right, I threw a big but on there. What are we gonna do? Go direct or go blip? What I would tell you, and again, I disclaimed it to you up front, I've got a bias here. I've got a dog in the fight. I would absolutely advise on going direct, because for the price, you're really right in there from a CPM standpoint, $5.40. I see campaigns ranging from, between $6 and $10 CPM, depending, but you get access to potentially having an entire digital network over a footprint. So if you're a regional chain, if you are a regional company, if you are a national company, if you're a startup and you're looking to test a market, you need a network. And the only way to really that I've seen to achieve working with a network is to work directly with an out-of-home company. The reason being is not all of the inventory that is on Blip is all of the inventory that is available. So a lot of times on Blip, it's the remnant space on lower demand units or inventory. Not saying that it's not great inventory, because a lot of it is, I got to be honest, but you are getting in where there are gaps. So you are not building a consistent, it's not part of a media strategy. It is definitely, hey, I've got some extra money, I'm going to throw it on here. It's easy. But what I would tell you is this, is that for the same exact money, you can get a lot more by picking up the phone, sending me a message saying, hey, Tim, I've got an extra 10 grand burning a hole in my pocket this month. I was going to do Blip. Show me what this GeoPath is all about. Show me how to index, for my specific audience. I got the Blip backend open here, so I thought I'd just click into it and show you guys what it looks like. I think that they do a pretty good job of it. It just quantifies what you're getting, right? Rather than having an impression conversation, we're seeing monthly, daily, hourly blips, and you can see here that the majority of mine ran between 5 and 7, but really maybe 5 and 8 o'clock. You can see the time period it ran. Nothing that we didn't talk about, but it's just a good way of displaying it. Smart play by Blip to make it more tangible, so you can look at it and say, this is what I'm getting for my investment. This is pretty neat. You can sort this, and then you can look at what location this is, how many commercials you've played on there, 4 blips on this one, estimated number of impressions, the amount spent. But that was the experience. And yeah, if you got any questions, just send me a message, hit me up in the DMs. I don't know, leave a comment below. It was an interesting experiment to try. It's definitely something that I'm going to continue to tweak and play with. But what I will tell you is that the advantages of going direct, you get access to real market intelligence. You get boots on the ground, people who are out there every single day, knowing what the ebbs and flows of the market are. You can't get that on Blip. That's not a knock against Blip. It serves a purpose. It helps a lot of businesses. But that real market intelligence, that's how you gain a competitive edge over your competitor. By working directly with an out-of-home company, especially one like Adams, where we have award-winning creative staff all across the country, you get access to that as an advertiser for free. For free. Award-winning creative for free. And that's pretty awesome, and it matters. And it matters especially when you're doing outdoor, because outdoor is meant to entertain, but that entertainment is meant to start a conversation, and it's meant to drive search, and it's meant to get people to interact with your brand. If the creative isn't on point, it will affect your campaign, and it might leave a bit of a bad taste in your mouth about out-of-home, how it works, whether or not it can be part of your media mix. Going direct, it's going to be about the same investment. You're going to get the real market intelligence. You're going to be able to take advantage of unique features like dynamic content. If you are a brand that has great social engagement or just looking to step yours up a little bit, you can do things like tweet to a billboard. You can do dynamic You could do dynamic countdowns to your new product release. Maybe you're a brewery and you do a bottle release every other month and you want to hype that up in the market. You could do a dynamic countdown. You could do weather. You can do forecast 3 days. If you're a kayaking camping company, you could sponsor a 3-day weather thing. And now you're creating that association. There's just so many more things that you can do with dynamic digital. And again, it's the same price. So if you're looking at it from an investment standpoint, if you're looking at really including outdoors part of your media mix, which I would definitely suggest that you do, then go direct, because you're going to get all of those unique advantages. Like I said, the market intel, dynamic digital, award-winning creative, and you're spending about the same freaking money. So pick up the phone, hit up your out-of-home operator, and tell them that T-Row sent you. And if they ask who the hell is T-Row, send them back to this video. If this has been helpful, please share it with somebody else who could benefit from the information. I appreciate you guys sticking around. This has been a lot of fun. Could you generate leads for $1 a day on a national billboard campaign? Yes, you can. But should you? Maybe not. Maybe not with a service that just doesn't give you all the advantages of working with somebody who's in the market and can help you do exactly the same thing for the same investment. Without further ado, I'm going to let you go. I'm T-Row. This is the Out of Home Insider Show. Hopefully we've brought you tips, tricks, and insider insights today that will help you make your advertising not only more effective, but more efficient. Stay tuned. The next 3 episodes are action-packed. Next week, I'll be in New York on the 25th. And the next day, we're going to sit down with Bud Torkham of Mazama Media to talk all about social and outdoor. The week after that, we got Eddie Carolyn from Soft Sign 3D, our brethren to the north who are doing really awesome stuff with inexpensive 3D billboards that can be used year after year after year. The week after that, we've got Stedman Cleveland from Tada. If you guys remember the Shazam app where you were sitting in the bar and you heard a song, you're like, oh, what's that song? Shazam it. Basically, the same thing for billboards. We got JPG from JPG Media in Hawaii coming up after that. It's action-packed. Stay tuned. Share this with somebody and make sure you subscribe. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe. Hit the little bell thing there. Like, comment, share. Do all that stuff. I love you guys, and we'll see you real soon.